Well, it's been some week for anthems, hasn't it? The Soldier's Song and God Save the Queen, endlessly played at so many gala events. But which one is better? Musically, that is. And what makes an anthem work? What are the devices? The musical hooks. At great expense, we've brought a famous composer, Philip Hammond, into the studio, complete with piano for what is undoubtedly his biggest gig ever. Philip, good morning.
Good morning, William.
Give us a musicological reading of these anthems. How are they different? Compare and contrast them for us.
The Irish and the British one you're talking about? Well,
no, the French and the Portuguese. What do you think we're talking about?
Well, you know, national anthems, they're all much of a muchness. I like to take a much wider world view of things than you do, William. Though you're just back from New Zealand, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, you realise they've two national anthems.
They do. God
British
defend
one,
New Zealand.
God defend and God Save the Queen.
And the lyrics were written by an Irishman, Thomas Bracken.
There you go.
Yeah.
And sung in Maori most of the time.
That's right.
Anyways, between these two, the basic difference is the metre. And the metre being in the God Save the Queen.
Elegant.
Well, demure if you do it at the right speed.
Yes.
You know, which is pretty
It's
slow and boring.
Too slow. It's like a dirge when you do it that way. It's
Only
the Billy Connolly line comes in
but
at that
don't
point.
forget that people are often sitting as
True.
when you're doing that. And when it was
But it is a problem at the Olympics, isn't it?
Everything's a problem with the Olympics, so I'm told. Not that I would care less. The thing about the British national anthem is that it was composed in about 1740, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They're not actually sure where it came from, but Thomas Arne made a version of it in 1745. And that kind
The
of
music
stuck.
comes first, does it? Before the lyrics?
Frequently. And in this particular case, yes. However, in the Irish national anthem, the Soldier's Song, which was not actually adopted as the national anthem of Ireland until 1926.
Yeah.
People don't really realise that. It was composed as a song in 1907 by a guy called Patrick Kearney, and another guy, Patrick Heaney, was the guy who did the music for that. Now that's in 4/4 rhythm. Which is it's immediately you're up and walking and marching and all this sort of stuff.
It's more sprightly.
It's more sprite and it's militaristic in many
And the
different
lyrics
ways.
are quite militaristic.
The lyrics are crazy, man. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that in there.
No, you're entitled to do.
They are very, very militaristic. Soldiers are we, and marching towards this, that and the other.
Though the verse we don't sing of the British national anthem these days about rebellious Scots to crash. It is slightly militaristic as well.
Well, we'll see what happens in September.
Yes.
But I think basically the difference is that metre thing, 1 and 4, 1 and 3. So the British national anthem tends to be rather demure, a bit elegant, all that stuff, whereas the Irish one goes straight to the point. And
which is easier to sing?
Well, the British one is easier to sing because there's only 7 notes. Da 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 da.
And it sounds great in a gospel version in America because they sing it to My Nation, 'Tis
They
of
do
Thee,
indeed.
Sweet Land of Liberty.
The Americans adopt everything to whatever situation is necessary. The American national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, it was originally just a rather awful poem, I have to say.
Yes.
And it was set to... The words were set to a song that was already actually composed by a Britishman, which was a very popular song in London circles at that particular time. And it was around 1812 after the American War.
And it's impossibly difficult for an audience to sing the American national anthem.
That's why they always have soloists.
Exactly.
And the reason is because it's such a wide...
It's all over the place. Hit the sky.
It goes way up, and it goes way up to the top.
But if you go onto YouTube, Philip, I love these clips on YouTube of people like Beyonce and Whitney Houston singing the American national anthem at the big sporting
very
events.
mushy, very mushy.
Yes, lovely, but it brings a tear to my eye. I love it.
Excuse me while I vomit.
But I think it's the American national anthem is about the only one that could be an X Factor challenge, because if you can sing this well, you can sing anything.
That's true. The Irish national anthem has overtones of the.
Do you think so?
I think it does, especially at the very end where we get, if I can do it now. Well, it goes right up to the top, and then it goes.
And that's the bit that that makes grown men cry.
That's the bit, especially at rugby matches. I think it doesn't do it at big occasions like state dinners, but it certainly does in rugby circles.
The French national anthem's the best, isn't it?
But it's impossible. It's operatic.
That scene in Casablanca where they sing the French national anthem against the Nazi drinking song. Do you remember that scene?
Exactly.
Collision of two anthems.
But it's got the weirdest words of the whole lot, and it's endless. It's like infinite. It keeps going and going and going. But what's been done with the French national anthem is brilliant. Like in 1812, the 1812 overture, Tchaikovsky, where it's always there in the background, but the big Russian national anthem is fitted against it by Tchaikovsky. And during the commie period after the 1917 revolution, the communist authorities tried to shift that, take it out, and put in a new tune, so as they didn't have any reference to the old Tsarist thing.
Of course, with the Irish national anthem, the Soldiers' Song, it's actually just the refrain that's
exactly right. It's the chorus.
It's a whole hymn, isn't it?
Well, a hymn. I'm not sure I'd use those words because there's actually not a word of God in the Irish one, where it's all over the British one, it's and every other one just about, apart from, of course, the Russian one. And the actual point about the Irish national anthem is that it is like a tune. It's like something John McCormick would have sung, and it really does lift you and move you, which of course is what a national anthem is there to do. It's there. It's like a rabble rouser, It's there to get the pulse racing and stuff again.
And as recently as the last 5, 10, 15 years, a number of members of the Dáil have actually proposed that the Irish national anthem should be changed because they find it too militaristic.
Yeah, it's
very
I'm
difficult
not sure
to do
there are
that
many
examples of a national anthem being changed once it's been around for 50, 60, 70 years.
Well, the Russian one was changed 3 times, if you like, in the last 100 years.
Well, they changed the name of all the cities and the,
they changed
and the
everything.
country as well.
Yeah, but the Russian, the current national anthem is a brilliant one because it's got all these scenes. It's fabulous.
It's like a music score, isn't
it's
it?
Perfect.
For a
it's
film.
perfect. People pick up those little bits, and they're able to sing it very well, and it's very moving and all that sort of stuff.
I love the German national anthem, of course.
The Deutschland.
Deutschland über alles.
Exactly. But did you realise that doesn't mean that Germany is the best in the world? It just meant that first and above all
in my life,
and also in the terms of a unified Germany back in the 1870s.
What's the point of a national anthem?
To get the rabble roused. It's purely that, nothing else. I mean, anybody with any sense wouldn't have anything to do. I have to say that since you phoned the other day for me to think about this, I have had these awful national anthems zooming around my head obsessively and trying to fit them together and do things like this. But, life's too short for this sort of nonsense.
Do you remember Billy Connolly proposing that she change God Save the Queen?
I can't say I do, no.
To the tune of the Archers. He said that would work at the Olympics and it would get everybody going.
Going where, of course. Yeah.
Text us on that, 81771. Philip Hammond, the man. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's 10 o'clock.